Stop telling me about this, I'll tell you about that. Stop talking shit, you walk into another trap.
The Russell Howard Hour. 2,000 years ago, Jesus entered Jerusalem on an ass. Last week, an ass entered Jerusalem.
President Trump breaks with decades of US foreign policy and recognises Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
Mr. Trump said it would help bring peace and a bright and beautiful future to the region. Not many people, though, agreed.
Palestinian Islamist group Hamas has called for a day of rage. In response to that, Israelis are said to be mobilising tanks and aircraft. It's a rapid escalation of hostilities in an already fragile part of the world.
We wish you a very happy Hanukkah.
What a moron. The Middle East needs wisdom and poise, not Trump. He's like an orangutan on Stella. Him wading into Jerusalem makes as much sense as defusing a bomb with 2 vibrators. And what's worse, some people claim he's doing it just to distract from the fact that he has the lowest approval rate of any president in history. He's at 32%. According to a survey, American women would rather have piles than a Trump presidency. They would rather have arse scrapes than listen to his bullshit. And it's not just that. The White House was forced to deny Donald Trump had dementia after he slurred and stuttered during the Israel speech. Did you see the speech? Something was definitely going on.
God bless Israel, God bless the Palestinians, and God bless the United States.
The United what?
The United States.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
The United States.
It's a good job he wasn't in Mississippi. Now, he hasn't got dementia. He's just thick as shit. Did you know that Trump, to get his attention, his own staff include his name as often as possible so he reads memos? He won't read classified information unless his name's in it. Fuck me. Can you imagine how they tried to tell him, Donald, do not, Donald, say that, Donald. Jerusalem is the, Donald, capital of Israel. Got it. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Donald. I like sausages. I mean, this is a man who said no politician in history has been treated worse than him. JFK? Abraham Lincoln. In 1672, the Dutch Prime Minister was killed by his own people. Can it get worse? Yeah, they ate him. But that's the Dutch for you. They get the munchies. He is so... doesn't matter. He's so unpopular, even his imaginary friends have pissed off.
Where's Chris? Where's Chris? Oh, Chris. Where is Mary? Where's Steve? Where's Kim?
Where did she go?
Where's Gary? He's around here someplace. Where's Dan? Where's Charles?
Where's John?
Where is Ed? Where are they? Where are they?
Where are they?
Melissa? Melissa? Right here? That's what I thought.
Now, I've got an idea how we can make the world a better place. Donald, if you're watching, Donald, the best thing, Donald, you could do, Donald, is retire. It would be good for you, your family, and most importantly...
the United States.
That's how we do it. Now, Trump isn't the only politician in hot water this week. Did you hear about David Davis?
David Davis, the Brexit secretary, has been accused of gross negligence after admitting that the government has not tried to calculate the impact of Brexit on the British economy.
In Westminster, MPs were staggered to find out the UK had not done such assessments.
So there isn't one, for example, on the automotive sector?
On the...
Automotive sector?
No, not I'm aware of, no.
Is there one on aerospace?
Not I'm aware of, no.
No. One on financial services.
Well, I think the answer's going to be no to all of them.
No to all of them. Right.
Lazy bastard! If this was Holland in 1672, he'd be in a fucking pie. And what makes it unbelievable is that he previously said he did 57 sets of analysis, and not only that, they were in excruciating detail. Excruciating detail. He hasn't done any! Well, I've seen an early draft of one of them, and it's pretty basic. Now, what I want to know, if they haven't done any of these impact assessments, what have they been doing? Just teaching Theresa May to smile? Close enough. Mind you, David Davis is nothing. Did you see what the Chancellor said? UK productivity rates are low because more disabled people are in work. What a load of bollocks! There's a blind lady around my way who has a full-time job, and in her spare time, she does triathlons. That is amazing. And her dog is ripped. But don't take my word for it. I've invited my friend and fellow comedian Francesca Martinez to give Philip Hammond a message. Francesca.
Can I remind you, Mr. Hammond, that productivity levels have fallen all over the world since 2008. So, if disabled people are responsible, we'd have had to infiltrate workplaces everywhere and spread our shit productivity levels all over the world. This in itself would require high levels of planning, organisation and, you guessed it, productivity. We can't win. If we don't work, we're burdens. And if we do work, we're burdens. It's funny. Lots of people think disabled people don't have sex. But millions of us are being fucked by your government every day.
Cheers, Francesca. Well, we can all agree that was pretty productive. Now, away from politics, let's be honest, the major story of the week was this.
Colder than Alaska. Temperatures plummet to -12.
Hundreds of schools are closed for a second day and travel conditions remain dangerous.
It's snowing!
We all did the same thing. Yeah! It's snowing! Shit! It's Sunday! Because there is nothing we love more than a day off. As soon as the tiniest snowflake hits the ground, we're like, I'm not going out in that blizzard. I can't walk in that tundra. You're on the phone like that. I can't come in today. Winter is coming. We just can't cope with snow in this country. I was in Sweden, it was -18. Trains were running, planes were running. Over here, -2, we're like, fetch the gritter, put some salt down. I die. We're too busy being filthy. Come on, we all do the same thing. It says here, we're going to have 10 inches tonight. The back door's frozen. My mum cannot do it. He'll be gone in the morning. That doesn't work. I genuinely said, I'm like, Mum, how can the morning be sexy? And she looked at me and, I don't know, you could have a wank over Jeremy Kyle. That's what you're dealing with, right? There were some great snow stories in the news. Remember these guys from last week?
Every single Muslim is obliged to kill you and your husbands and your wives and your children. Are we getting this yet?
Well, they had a bit of trouble. Snow forces Britain First to cancel their rally in Belfast. How great is that? How great is that? Britain First were defeated by something white. I bet like, it wasn't the snow, it was the black ice. It was the black ice. There were so many great stories. There was also this belter from the Midlands. Paramedics were called out to a report of a woman freezing to death on a park bench. But when they arrived on the scene, it was a statue. It's just wonderful. Don't worry, madam. We'll get you out of this, bloody hell. She's been here for ages. Look, it says she's been here since World War I. Now, one thing you can guarantee whenever there's snow, you know some genius will do this.
No, but look, come and look at it at the front. Come and look at it at the front bit. Is it not really good? Do you think it's amazing?
Now, moving on. Did you hear about the driving test? Oh, my God. It's been updated so that morons can do it too.
The driving test comes into force today.
The new test will see an end to manoeuvres such as the three-point turn, but learners will now have to follow directions from a sat-nav.
What's that? Following a sat-nav? I can't believe I passed, what with having a robot telling me exactly where and when to go. I got the gift. Turn left, I'm doing it. Turn right, I'm a genius. Driving is so easy now. Power steering, cruise control. When you reverse, you have beepers. What did we have? Mums. Back a bit, back a bit, back a bit. It's too far. The most dazzling gadget I had on my car was the choke. Do you remember the choke? Pull the choke, pump the clutch. It was like trying to bring a dinner lady to orgasm. Just... choke me, choke me. And I imagine, and sat there. I love the fact there'll be a dinner lady going, he's got that bang on. I sometimes think there's too much technology in the world. Do you ever feel like that? And it's not just cars. Do we really need this? A company has invented a smart condom that can rate your performance in the bedroom. Rate your performance. It's sex. It's not Strictly. How was that for you? 7? Who wants to be reviewed by a Johnny just sat in the bin like that? A very poor performance from how hard? I'd give him a soft 5, which is exactly what he gave her. It's mental. And it doesn't just rate you, it shows you the amount of calories you're burning, your session duration, your girth, your speed, and the number of thrusts. We've invented a Fitbit for dicks. And this is the maddest bit. Users will have the option to share their recent data with their friends. Who, in their right mind, is going to share their fuck stats with a pal? What if your family find out? How awkward would that be during Sunday dinner? You enjoying your nut roast, Nan? That's what your Johnny said. Says here you're 67 thrusts, man, with an average dick speed of 6 miles an hour. Not that everyone gets on with technology. Look at this idiot.
Firefighters spent an hour freeing an internet prankster who cemented his head inside a microwave oven at a house in Wolverhampton.
Look at it. Look at this, man. Look. He looks like a Poundland stormtrooper. Did you see the footage? It is spellbinding.
Oh, my... Bro, that's solid. That is solid. Bro, that's so mad. Bro, you're facing the wrong way.
They finally got me out, and I've never appreciated life so much, ever.
I've never appreciated life so much. You don't know what it's like to be alive until you've been a ready meal. When they got me head out, they made me stand for 30 seconds. Imagine if he had a die. You know, at the end of the funeral, one of his mates would have gone, ding! And just stabbed the coffin with a fork. Now, thank you. It's madness. That's not how you trick someone. This is. A woman has claimed her bosses tricked her into reading a prank message over a tannoy. Now, she was laughing because she couldn't believe she fell for it. They told her there was a car that had left its lights on, and they got her to read this out. Red car, lights on, NE1 4ABJ. That is how you prank someone. Join me after the break when I'll be talking to one of our national treasures, Jamie Oliver! Welcome back to the show. Let's talk about prisons. Now, as you can probably guess, I've never been to jail. Which is a good thing, because let's be honest, sweet peace like me, I'd be ruined. To quote my mum, you'd have to teach him to read, or you'd be carrying your ass around in a wheelbarrow. Now, why am I talking about prison? Because it needs to be fixed. Did you know nearly half of prisoners in the UK re-offend? And that could cost us around 15 billion a year. 15 billion. Think how we could improve the country if we had 15 billion more every year. We could employ 350,000 extra nurses. We could make university free for everyone. We could eradicate child hunger. Or we could fund a one-way mission to Mars and drop off these two. The point I'm making, if we change our approach, we could really improve this country. So how do we fix it? Well, let's start by reducing the amount of people we send to jail. Don't get me wrong, some people should definitely be locked up. Rapists, murderers, paedophiles, people who make a cup of tea by putting the milk in first. You savages. I'm joking. This is a serious matter. It costs 35 grand a year to keep someone in jail, and they are full of people who shouldn't be there. People in this country have been locked up for not paying their TV licence fines for possession of cannabis. I mean, Christ, one guy went to prison for bomb hoaxing his own wedding. He told his wife he'd booked the venue when he hadn't, and rather than tell her, he rang up the venue and said there was going to be a bomb. He doesn't deserve prison. He's just a dick. Did you know we're one of the few countries in Europe where you can get sent to prison for graffiti? It's madness. A good bit of graffiti warms your soul. I saw an ad for prostate cancer in Bristol, right, that said, this year, thousands of men will die from stubbornness. And underneath, a bloke had written, no, we won't. You can't send someone to prison for writing something as majestic as this. 5 guys, 1 cup. Brilliant. I mean, you wouldn't want to eat there, but you get my point. Now, not only are prisons rammed and understaffed, we're also cutting the funding at the same time. No wonder the system is in such a mess. Cells are overcrowded, drug abuse is rife, and staff shortages mean guards and prisoners are in constant danger. At its worst, one guard is having to look after more than 30 prisoners. I couldn't do that. I struggle looking after 2 of my little cousins. I was at the zoo with them the other day, right? We were at the gorilla enclosure, and I said, did you know gorilla poo is 5 times larger than your poo? Were they intrigued? No. They started screaming, why have you been measuring our poo? The point I'm making, dealing with 2 7-year-olds on Fanta is hard enough. Imagine dealing with 30 grown men on crack. And I know there's people going, fuck them, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. All they do is sit in their cell and take drugs. And you're like, to be honest, if I was in a cell with 5 blokes and I had to watch Big Dave take a shit in a bucket, I'd be like, pass me the heroin. Obviously, after I'd measured his turd. 5-incher. Now, we need to change our approach to prison in this country. And what's frustrating, there are examples of countries who run them better than we do. I mean, have a look at this. This is what they do in Norway.
Behind me is what's regarded as the world's most humane maximum security prison. There are no angels at Halden. Most are hardened criminals. But there's no violence. Prison officers are contracted to motivate the inmate, to play the role of mentor and confidant. Reoffending rates in Norway are at 21%. The UK's average is closer to 55%.
It's a society who's chosen to invest the resources in mental health care and helping people get back into society.
Basically, rather than seeking revenge, they rehabilitate. Over here, we're not forward-thinking. At one jail, some prisoners were filmed colouring in Peppa Pig pictures while learning skills to get jobs. How does that prepare them for work? Can you touch type? No, I can do Daddy Pig. To be honest, I'm a bit weirded out. Some bloke was measuring my shit. Surely it's worth at least trying what they do in Norway. Because at the moment, our prisons are too easy to get into and too difficult to get out of. Now it's time for another round of Playground Politics. This week, me and the children of the world discussed food.
Have you guys heard of a thing called a Findus crispy pancake?
It sounds nice, but I think it's quite terrible.
Oh, that's an excellent description.
I don't eat no ham and eggs because I'm high in cholesterol.
What would you say is the best food in the world?
Strawberries. I'd say Russian fancy food.
OK, what do you think Russian fancy food is?
I have no idea what I think.
The jam sandwiches, they make you
They're my
happy.
favourite sandwich.
Well, let's not talk silly. You can't have a jam sandwich as your top sandwich.
Yuck.
What do you think it is, Milan? No, what's your favourite sandwich?
Ham.
Just ham.
Do you know, I went to Liberia last year and I gave some of the children a Fanta for the first time. You know, like the fizzy drink?
It's like, yeah, I know what Fanta is.
Blew their mind. They'd never had a fizzy drink before. And I felt bad.
Did they die?
No. You know, when you close the fridge door, maybe the food's talking.
No.
Well, we don't know.
No.
You've never opened the fridge open.
No.
As soon as you shut the door, the cheese might be like, finally, it's some me time.
What happens if we open forever?
That's a very good question.
Do you both eat meat?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you were to meet a dancing chicken that had lots of dancing chicken friends, would you still eat him?
Yes.
OK. But what if he was a really good dancer and he had a really interesting life?
Then he probably tastes really good.
The other day, I saw a pair of trainers sneakers, right? And there was a little sachet inside them that said, silica gel, do not eat.
Oh, those little like packets?
Yeah, but who would ever eat them? Do you know what I mean?
Appetizing time.
Exactly.
It's like, huh, what should I have?
Oh,
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at this plastic bean.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I could have a sandwich, but no, I'll eat this plastic.
I ate that in second grade.
Why? That they were salt.
Oh, man.
My guest this week is the brilliant Mr. Jamie Oliver.
Golden skin, tender meat, all infused with that incredible porcini. And joining it, the porchetta.
Let's just get in there.
Oh, come on.
Look at that. Look how juicy that is.
Oh, it's really crispy. The meat inside is tender.
Oh, it's so good.
Please welcome Jamie Oliver.
Oh, this is real.
Yeah.
Always seen it on the telly and wondered.
Yeah?
It's good, isn't it?
It's lovely, isn't it?
Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming, mate. One thing I've often thought, do you, as a chef, get the day off on Christmas Day?
No way. No. I mean, I would want to cook, and I have to cook, otherwise we wouldn't get anything.
Right.
But also, it's like, I think that thing about cooking is it is a beautiful way to love the people you love, or even people you don't love, actually. It's a good way to give love. And there's nothing I like more than to cook for people, sincerely. Since I was a baby boy, grew up in a pub restaurant.
Yeah.
And actually, for 15 years, I've done the big Christmas, and everyone's come to us, and it's sort of like 30 people. And
oh, wow.
About 2 years ago, I'm like, just a minute, it's a bit like work.
Yeah.
Work. So last year and this year, it's just my mob. So my 5 kids and my missus. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it kind of... And then on Boxing Day, we have the big old party. And it's a little bit controversial. Some people don't like the change.
Why?
You know?
What do you mean?
Well, they want to be at my house on Christmas Day getting my grub. You know, it's pretty good and it's free. So,
so the big Boxing Day party, but again, you see you're working 2 days in a row. Because presumably you're doing nibbles for that.
Well, what I do, the Christmas dinner for just a small mob is fine.
Yeah.
But then, like, the next day you can do a big mob because it's just cheeses.
Yeah.
You can do the cold cuts, you can do all the pickles, you can just buy interesting things and make a couple of things.
Yeah.
I do a bit of bubble and squeak, knock out some nice bread, and that's about it.
I love the idea that your kids are walking around going, oh, I should have been here yesterday. Yeah, you have the leftover slop. We were living like kings. Do you have any, like, Christmas traditions, like weird sort of family Oliver
Not really. I mean, there's one weird one that is new to me from last year.
Right.
That I don't condone. Right. Which is like, my missus is like an incredible mother, like, and she's an amazing wife, been with her since I was 18, and there was all this noise last year. Apparently this has been going on for 3 years.
Right.
And there's this new tradition that she's basically gone to all my kids, and we've got like 1 million kids, right? And downstairs, and I'm coming down, and the noise, and as I'm getting closer and closer, and I'm just hearing all this, fuck, bollocks, fuck. And I'm like, what on earth is going on? I go, what's going on? And she goes, oh, they're allowed to say any rude word they want, just for 1 minute a year. I'm like, it's really... But also, like, you know, I love it, but I don't like it. My boy's like, you know, he's only little, but also he never swears, so he got this permission just to go nuts. And I'm like, how did you know that? It's like, and making them rhyme as well, you know?
I love that. I think that's... And now also...
Now there's going to be people all around.
Yeah, exactly.
What would they do in your village? How would they say it? You got 1 minute.
You got 1 minute, really go for it. All the words you know. Fuck shit, balls, fuck cat. Do you have like the lowdown on what's going to be the next Christmas tradition? Like, as in, like, because like a couple of years ago it went mental with goose fat. We suddenly like, right, you got to put goose fat on potatoes.
That was my fault. Sorry.
Was it?
Yeah.
What was it like? Why?
Well, I used to just say little things like, you know, like.
But it really worked. I felt sorry for the geese.
Well, when you cook the geese, there's a lot of rendered fat that comes off it. And
sexy.
You don't throw that away. Well, no, the thing is, like, you've got your olive oil and your butter, but, like, some of the most important and delicious meals in the world they would never waste anything.
Yes.
And, of course, if a goose was the original Christmas bird, not the turkey, that was, like, Southern American stuff that they brought in just recently. I don't know why I'm talking like that.
Yeah.
You've got me going...
I like it. No.
I'm translating to you, so you know what I'm fucking talking about.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Everyone used to...
Yeah, go on, mate, go on. Yeah, I got it. Go,
yes,
go.
You got to add pucker, though. You just like... the original Christmas meal was goose, and that would take a year to grow. And that would be a wild, free-range, grass-fed, you know, and blah, blah, blah. So,
and presumably that goose has the minute swear as well when he realises what's going to happen.
1 minute before we cut you down, you can stare in the... But no, I mean, it is delicious.
There's something I found out, this is probably, I don't know if you know this, but did you know that there was a survey done recently and women said that they found your cookery books more satisfying to read than 50 Shades of Grey? Did you know that?
I don't know how to take that.
That's one of the lines. But with that in mind, I thought as an early Christmas present, if you're willing to do this for the ladies of the nation, we've got your banging beef stew.
Right.
And can we make this sexy? Can we have just a bit of music, put Jamie in the mood?
Oh, for the love of God.
Would you like to read it out in a sexy way?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
There it is.
Where do you want me to start? On the title or in the method?
No, just the method.
OK.
Here we go. This is for the...
OK.
Go on, Jamie, go on, my love.
Can you turn the music up, because I need to get into it?
Yeah. Is that your sexy face? I like it, man.
That's
music down a bit, in case things get too solid.
Preheat the oven to 160.
Oh, yeah.
Gas, Mark 3. Place a large, shallow casserole pan on a high heat. De-seed the peppers and chop into fingers.
Oh!
Then place in the pan with a tablespoon of olive oil, a pinch of sea salt.
Oh, yeah.
Black pepper, allspice.
Yeah.
Chop that beef.
I will.
Stir into the pan with bay. Crush in the unpeeled garlic. Through the garlic crusher. Fry for 2.5 minutes. Toss in regularly. Loosen with a splash of water. Or in your case, cider.
Nice.
Mix up, taste, season to perfection, and serve. To be honest, I have done pervier recipes than that. Sometimes I do write a couple of naughty ones in every book.
Have you ever used food to arouse? So, like I'm saying, if you ever cooked a meal, gone, this is the winner, I know my wife will love this.
Ah, well... No.
Have you not?
No, I mean, I always try. When I cook for my missus, I don't just cook something. I try and say, you all right, babe, how you feeling? What do you think? Try and get to what she needs, what she fancies. She sometimes gives it to me, sometimes she doesn't. But sometimes I'm left just hanging. That's terrible.
That doesn't have to go in.
No, it can all go in. Oh, that's worse. Yeah, shut it in. Yeah. Oh, God, this is the brilliant, unconventional interview. No, I think, look, if you're talking about food to arouse, I think anything made, you know, anything made can be lovely.
Yes.
I did once try to do it erotically, and I cooked in the buff on Valentine's Day, but I had a brand new oven and I cooked a whole sea bass stuffed with herbs and white wine and olive oil, of course, and I opened the oven and the steam shot through and just, if that's my penis, going gablah! and it was incredible. I'm not going to go into detail, but that was a frozen food green giant moment.
Ho, ho, ho.
But I would definitely... I think it's honestly, and on a serious note, because out of every lesson in life, you've got to learn things. Never, ever cook naked. It's really dangerous.
Which is fascinating coming from the naked chef.
Yeah. I tried so hard as well. I had Sade on and everything.
The other thing I didn't know about this, that am I right in saying that you cooked for Barack Obama?
Yes.
How was that?
Cool.
And how does it work when you cook for somebody that famous? Do you just cook for them, or do you then get to sit down with them and eat?
Well, it was a different gig because it was the G20.
Right, wow.
So it wasn't just him.
Yeah.
There's a few others there as well.
Wow.
But it's quite funny cooking at number 10 because it's a rubbish kitchen.
Is it?
It is so rubbish. If you do anything for the royals, they got it down, they got the kitchens, they're methodical, they got protocol, they got gear, they got equipment. At number 10, it is properly rubbish.
Wow.
They didn't even have matching state plates. And I'm like, well, I can't put down like a pink one here and a blue one there and a cracked one there and that one's got a crest. That's a crest from 100 years ago, that's a crest from 10.
Yeah.
So I said to the head of the household, look, I don't want to be rude or disrespectful or nothing, but do you want me to buy you a set of new state plates? Because this is really embarrassing. And it was embarrassing. But
so did you buy them?
I offered, because I worked for Royal Worcester at the time.
Right.
And they'd made plates for 300 years. I don't know why... What is this?
I like it. I love it.
I don't know why this is happening.
Listen, I'm happy.
I haven't even had a drink.
Would you, if you were asked to cook for Donald Trump, would you?
Do you know what? My instant reaction would be absolutely categorically no, because, to be honest, I'm kind of hoping that I don't have to go to America while he's in power. I'm kind of like, I don't know if I can hold it out, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
But probably not. I think I would bite the bullet. I think I'd be professional. And I think I'd cook with all of my heart and my soul. And I'd just use all of my training as a nutritionist to cook things that really make your arsehole loose. What's quite funny is if you quickly graze around the audience, there's a couple of Americans, and clearly they voted for Trump because they're going...
Or maybe
I love him.
Maybe they're doing impressions of his puckered arsehole. What's next?
No, what's next for me? I've just spent 2 years travelling around Italy, working with mainly sort of 85 to 95-year-old nonnas, grandmothers.
All right.
Grandmothers, so the key holders of the old recipes.
Oh, wow. That must have been amazing.
Oh,
right?
man. I mean, like, just to work and spend, most importantly, the time with these women and hear their stories. And I'm talking from the north to the south, east to west, up mountains, to the lakes, to the islands. You know, areas where the recipes don't get lost, they don't get watered down.
Yeah.
And it's just their life lessons.
So presumably you're getting just full of, like, this wisdom and food.
Yeah, and beauty and culture and that family vibe, which I think translates to all of us.
Yeah.
And
that sounds amazing.
Do you know what? To keep learning, I went back to school 4 years ago and started to study nutrition, and to be a student again, it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And like, I think
that freaked the shit out of the other. But like, presumably, it must be that moment when it's Jamie Oliver.
No.
I
kind of cheat because I basically get them to come to me.
Well,
so I do 5 hours on a Friday and then only go in for practicals. So I passed my first course, now I'm doing a master's, so that'll probably take me another 2 or 3 years. So fingers crossed, you never know, you might see me in a cape with one of those little hats doing that.
You're an inspiration, mate. You really are.
Thank you.
I'd never realised how impressive you were until I met you. No, honestly. No, but it's just because you're kind of always there. You're on telly and you're cooking food and you're being brilliant. But when you sort of spend time with you, you're a fucking great bloke.
Oh, thanks, mate.
And it's really lovely to meet you, isn't it? It's sort of that lovely moment of just... really great. Thank you very much indeed for coming on the show, right? Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Jamie Oliver! See you off the break for some of your good deeds. Now it's time to look at your good deeds. Danny Wilkins sent me this. Hundreds of cuddly toys were thrown on the pitch at a football match in Belgium last night. They're collected every year for children with disabilities and handed out by Father Christmas, which is just an amazing thing to do. And if you hate the player, you can hit him with a bear. Talking of amazing, we found out about a wonderful project called Gig Buddies.
Hi everybody, thanks so much for coming tonight. It's all about supporting people with learning disabilities to stay up late.
I'm Paul Richards, I'm the director and founder of the charity Stay Up Late, and we founded the Gig Buddies project. Gig Buddies supports people with learning disabilities and or autism to go out and see live music by matching them with a volunteer who shares the same passion for the same kind of music as them.
I think we might have been matched because you love dancing and I love dancing.
Yeah, she makes me laugh and we have fun together. It's changed my life really well, actually, to be safe and independent.
Gig Buddies is really important because most people that have a learning disability don't have the opportunities that most of us take for granted to meet people, make friends and go out in the evening. You find a lot of people who have a learning disability will either only socialise with their family or people that are paid to be in their life.
Having Asperger's to me means I find it hard to do stuff other people might do. If I didn't have a gig buddy, I'll probably be stuck at home, being on the computer, not being really sociable, not going out.
We go on trips together, Glastonbury Festival, Latitude Festival, we've been to Italy together. I can't really see my life without David now.
She's always there if I'm down and need a chat. Best friend ever.
The campaign on loneliness said that being socially isolated is worse for your health than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. As a society, we need to do something about that.
Are you enjoying your time here? I love Gig Buddies in my life. Gig Buddies in my life. I feel it in my heart. It's all about respect our people's feelings. We all love it.
There you go. I think Harry, I couldn't say it better than Harry, really. It makes us really happy. We feel it in our hearts.
We need to say a thank you to Russell for featuring us. So, thank you, Russell. All you people out there watching the TV, if you want to be a Gig Buddy volunteer, get in touch and you can join in the fun too. Thank you very much.
next week. Now, as always, please tweet me your good deeds at RHDeeds, and I'll put my favourites on next week's show. Now it's time for my stand-up guest. Please welcome the brilliant Mr. Ed Gamble!
Thank you very much. I'm Ed Gamble. Tell you this firstly about myself. I like heavy metal music. That's fine. The majority of you do not believe that at all. That's fine. I realise I do not look like I like heavy metal music. I do not have a heavy metal face. I have what is known as a Coldplay face. That's what I've got. Drink it in, basic bitch, indie white man face. Also, I can't go to the gigs. Other metalheads get suspicious of me because I look like an undercover Mormon on a conversion mission. Look like I'm going to start sneaking up behind people in the crowd going, hey, pretty rockin' band, right? You know who else is rockin'? Lord Jesus Christ, our Saviour, yeah. Hey, I love the guitarist, love his look, long hair and a beard, yeah. You know who else had long hair and a beard? Lord Jesus Christ, our Saviour, that's right, yeah. He's always the answer. Hey, what's this we're all doing? Oh, head banging, yeah, cool, no. I do head banging too, but when I do it, it's to get rid of gay thoughts. Used to be in a metal band when I was 15 years old. We were called Tethered Priest. You heard it right, Tethered Priest. Like, you've got a priest, but you need to go into the shop, so you have to tie him up outside first. Tethered Priest. At the time, I thought that sounded quite cool and, like, anti-religion and badass. Tethered Priest. Thinking about it, Tethered Priest doesn't sound anti-religious at all, does it? Tethered Priest just makes me sound like I am a responsible priest owner. Yes, I have a pet priest, but he is a giddy little priest. So when I take him out for priest walkies, I have to put his dog collar on and heel, Father, heel! Stop sniffing the other priest's bums. I'm so sorry. So sorry. What breed is yours? Oh, Roman Catholic. Very nice. Yeah, yeah. We used to have one of those, but we had to get rid of it when we had kids. Get back here! So, if any of you are religious, I apologise. I'm not anti-religious at all, I promise. Like, one small problem with Christianity, just quite jealous of the body that Jesus used to have. Don't think about him like that, do you? Think about him in terms of, like, miracles, being Son of God. Don't give him enough credit for the tight rig. That boy was in shape. Jesus had muscles I don't even know the name for. Jesus had those bits. You seen those bits? Those bits. Guys. Guys, Jesus had the dick arrows. Jesus had the dick arrows. That's how Jesus got his name. Someone saw that and went, oh, Jesus Christ. And I'm aware I've been doing this mime for far too long now. Maybe this is how you get the dick arrows. You just keep rubbing until you form a groove. I'm gonna have to break out of it eventually. But he knew he had to stay in shape. Done it. He knew he had to stay in shape. He knew, because he thought, I'm going to be famous, Son of God, got to stay in shape. One day I'm going to be on the front cover of the Bible. I've got to keep it tight. He was supposed to be crucified with his top on. He said, absolutely not, I'm not wasting this. Top's off to die, thank you very much. Fuck it, I'll carry the crucifix there. Make sure I'm double pumped up by the time I arrive. That was the original CrossFit. That guy was amazing. Don't you groan that joke is perfect. That's why it annoys me when you go to church and they give you body of Christ, then it's bread. There is no way that guy had carbs anywhere near his diet. All the other prophets and gods came up with systems so they didn't have to stay in shape. Little excuses, little loopholes. Buddha, he was a clever one. Early on, he went, fuck it, actually. I'm going to be the fat, happy god. That's my thing. Pass me that foot-long subway. I am zen as shit. Muhammad, he was a clever one as well. He went, tell you what, no drawings of me allowed. Thank you very much. No one is ever going to know what I look like. I will eat whatever I like this Christmas. I mean, there's often a hang time in that joke, guys, but you took your fucking time, yeah. It's a simple joke about Islam not having Christmas, guys. I know you're all scanning it in your heads going, just need to check if that's racist before I laugh at it. It's definitely not, don't worry. What if there's someone Muslim here? Don't worry, this is the whitest section of audience I've ever fucking seen in my life. I came out, I thought you were all on your phones. It was just your glowy, big white faces. I ran the London Marathon this year. Thank you, guys, wow. No, I mean, You only broke there because one person panicked that the silence was too crushing. You didn't exactly pin me to the back wall with the response. So I went, well, as one, we could not give a shit, thank you very much. We saw that on television. I'm pretty sure thousands of people did that. Also, it was in April. How about you move on with your life? And of course you ran the London Marathon. You are a white middle-class man in your early 30s. That's what you do. And you're right, that is the most basic thing for someone like me to do. That is the first step on the most basic, traditional, posh man life ever. It's how it starts. Marathon. Then it goes marriage, kids, fuck the au pair, divorce, Crocs, death. That's it. I ran it for charity as well, so double smug points. Thank you very much. Hang on, though. Do wait. I ran it for a type 1 diabetes charity. Before you think I'm too good of a human being, I will let you know that I am type 1 diabetic, so I will see that money eventually. Didn't enjoy it on the day. 8 miles in, I had a bottle of water and a bottle of Lucozade Sport. I was feeling warm. I thought I'd cool myself down. Quick spritz of water. I got the wrong bottle. I took a face full of Lucozade Sport. I ended up with a very sticky face, and I was chased by one bee for 10 miles. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Ed Gamble. Thank you very much. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Ed Gamble! Thank you very much for watching. Good night, my friends. Good night.